Welcome to Soul Cards and Connection. I can't believe this has actually come to fruition. I am so excited. I'm excited for us. I'm excited for our audience. I'm excited, period. This is a brand new show. I'm Jamie.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm April. We are so happy you are here. Welcome to Soul Cards and Connections. This is a journey of self-discovery as we explore tarot and astrology and ritual, figuring out how we can use these tools in our everyday life. Trust that you found us for a reason. Let's jump in.
I am so excited. Okay, first of all, I just want to preface everything with Jamie's a beginner. That's me. I'm talking in the third person. I'm a beginner. So I'm going to be learning with most of our audience, but this show is for everybody, beginners, advanced, because Rachel, you have a great line for that.
It's one of those fun sayings that as you become a master of a trade, like the more you know, the more you realize you need to know, and the more you still need to learn. So like no matter where we're at, it's a journey and we're all in different phases. We're all overlapping in different ways. And I think that's part of the magic that happens. You know, you can learn something as experienced as I am with the cards. Seeing it through your eyes helps me learn it that much more.
I love that. And April, you're somewhere in the middle, but I feel like you get it so easily. I feel like I stumble over myself.
I have been learning for a little bit longer than you, but I feel like I'm intermediate, right? I know some stuff, but of course there's so much more to learn. And Rachel is always my go-to. I'll just text her pictures of the cards I pull in the morning and be like, what does this mean? And then she tells me. It's amazing.
I feel like I started my journey in tarot in college. Like what was your first stint, April? Like what brought you to the cards?
Honestly, I think, we're in a mom group together and they had a learn about tarot workshop. And I was like, hell yeah, I want to do that. And it was like 4 weeks, like a couple hours each week. And again, I learned so much, but also left feeling like, wow, I don't know anything. There's so much more to learn.
Wow.
So many layers to this practice, the methodology, and it can be viewed very, very symbolically, but also there's so many layers to it. Like when you start adding in astrology and numerology, and that's like part of the excitement of it all, because the more you know, the more you can use this as a tool for your life in a variety of ways.
Yeah, this podcast is going to dive deep into tarot and we're going to learn so much. But this episode is our intro episode and we want you guys to get to know us a little bit. So we're going to start by showing the card that represents us. So if you had to pick a tarot card, what would yours be?
Okay, well, I mean, mostly because I pull her all the time, is the Temperance.
She's so pretty in this deck.
Look at her.
Every deck I've pulled her from, there's a rainbow. Number one.
And she's an angel.
Yeah, I also think that the significance of one foot planted and one dangling over the water is interesting to me.
She speaks to you.
Yeah, she really does. And and she's beautiful in every deck. Beautiful. I have a quick question. Rachel, does each deck confirm what she represents the same?
In a variety of ways, yes. From deck to deck, there's obviously different decks that go really out there with, fractals and geometry and more abstract art. But a lot of the traditional art, she or he is viewed as someone who is very balanced, very much a part of in one world and in the heavens as well, like the mediator between how we balance our lives, the alchemy that happens in that moment between the water and the earth and our emotions and how all of that plays into it. So yeah, the artwork definitely can be seen from deck to deck and in a variety of different ways. And you should always find a deck that speaks to you. So
I love that.
I know. I love that advice. Like sometimes you just don't vibe with a deck and that's okay. Let it go.
100%.
Yeah. It's true. I've had a couple of decks that I'm like, ooh, this one's really dark and good for one purpose, but not for an everyday kind of practice. So,
Rachel, what card is your card from the deck?
I know it feels common, but I am represented by the High Priestess. I have a 7 as a spiritual life path number, and it's very spiritual. And the High Priestess is very spiritual in the deck. She operates in water and her own intuition, and that's something that I've definitely become much more comfortable with as I get older in my life with more experience. She's very powerful in how she views her shadows as well, right? Her shadows make her stronger. She is both light and the dark, and it is through both of those experiences that she is able to gain her intuition. And so that really speaks to me because I've had a lot of dark moments in my life and have come out on the other side of that in strength and in empowerment. And that's something that we, in our own intuitive process, can learn how to do for ourselves. And this is about that journey as well.
That's amazing.
Wow. That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Like through the darkness, like our intuition pulls us through and guides us out the other side.
And like the deeper we're stretched, the higher that octave can become. And that's her path. And I feel like I'm very aligned to that path as well. What about you, April?
Oh, you know who I'm pulling?
I
Her.
know.
She is the Empress. She is the third card in the Major Arcana. She is the mother energy, right? She is like ultimate mother. And you know, as my work as a therapist and doula, and I have 3 children, like the mother energy is a pervasive archetype. The mother is an archetype that follows me through a lot of my journey in the world and speaks to me. And so she comes out all the time. Every time I get a new deck, not every time, but a lot of times when I get a new deck and I feel really connected to it, that's the first card I pull. It jumps out at me. It just happened. It happened to the deck before that. And it's wild. And I almost don't believe that it's happening, but it is. And I see her and I'm like, okay, this is my deck. Thank you for confirming that for me.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So powerful. And she embodies so much abundance and love and like just genuine, the art of creating and the art of that beautiful feminine energy all in one, right? She represents all the women in the deck at a
Oh, I
most
love that.
powerful octave level. So
Thanks for that
I see that for
reflection.
you so
That's
much.
so beautiful.
I love that.
Yeah, I mean,
Mm.
it represents Gaia, right? Like, and so it's like, as Temperance represents the angelic energy and the Empress represents the energy of Gaia, like you're birthing something into the world, and that's like what you do as a doula. Like it's just amazing. And Jamie, your card with Temperance and like the way it's being balanced in your life and how you balance everything between a mom and a teacher and your career and a writer, and like you're just producing so much, but you're doing it through this lens of like mastery and balance in a very beautiful way. Like you were an angel to your students in so many ways, right? So
I'm going to cry.
I love it. I love that for you. And as like a high priestess, I'm doing my best to try to lead, people towards a more spiritual path in a subtle way as well. So I think we're all
This is
embodying our
wild.
cards. I
I'm
love
literally
this.
going to cry. Like this show is going to give me goosebumps regularly. I'm just forewarning our audience now. Like, I get goosebumps. Yeah, it's magical. And magic exists in all of us. Magic exists in earth. Magic exists in science. And I just think this whole process of tarot is magic, however you view it.
Absolutely. We should also mention that when we first started getting together to do tarot pulls and hangouts on Friday mornings, the card that kept coming out was the 3 of Cups. And you'll notice that the 3 of Cups is, oh, there she is on all 3 of our screens. It's 3 women. Collaborative. And Rachel, you tell me more, but it's about community and collaboration, right? And connection.
It really is. Threes represent connection, community, collaboration, creativity, and doing so through the energy of self and others. And like you're pulling together, like, the Trinity is very important. And even in my card, you have, the beautiful representation of that in her tattoo on her back. And it's just this, we are stronger together than we are apart. And with the cups, it is through that emotional connection. And we want to bring our audience into this connection. Like, we want to pull you guys in where the way that we interact together is magical, and we want to share that. That is the community that we're building here. And I'm excited to do
Yeah,
that.
so that's our
with
show's
you guys.
card. If we had to pull a card for the show, it's the Three of Cups.
Oh,
Yeah, of course the show has a card. The show is herself part of this. You are part of this
Yeah.
audience. So I'm super psyched. And I thought it would be really fun. We thought it would be really fun to pull one more card that we're not pulling ahead of time. So this is testing a little bit of what the universe is speaking to us. We're all going to pull an oracle card that's going to represent something about us to you, our audience. I'm terrified.
Listen, we're gonna trust
don't be.
trust the
Like,
universe. We're gonna trust.
Spirit is all around us all the time, and when we tap into that and like feel that energy, like there is no card that is not meant to be seen when we see it.
100%.
Right?
Yes.
Can I go first? I'm feeling called to go.
Please.
Okay. I have just to lay the groundwork, I have Guidance of the Goddess Oracle deck. This is one I've had for a long time. I love the imagery on this. This is just one of my favorite artists. I love her. Her name is Annette Pearso, and she's gorgeous. Her art is amazing. Okay, so Guidance of the Goddess. I'm asking the deck tell me something about myself to share with the world. Okay, and I'm pulling this one, which is Hell, which is duality. It's representing duality. So the goddess's name is Hell, and she is talking about duality. And okay, I love this. You may have noticed that as a therapist, one of the things I say instead of the word but is and. That's like something we learn in therapy school, right? And the intention of that is to hold both things, like yes, and like you said, Jamie, like yes, and this other thing is also true. So duality comes up a lot. We talked about masculine and feminine energy, like the yin and the yang, like all of that is so present in what I think is important in the day-to-day and in my work and in life. I always try to hold the duality. I can feel happiness as a mother, and I can also feel grief of the life I had before, right? Both and. Like we can hold duality about who we are and what we're experiencing.
Wow. That's a powerful thought.
I think it's a good way to introduce it, actually, because the tarot is something that a lot of people fear, and it is fearing the darker aspects of the energies in these cards that make people not want to embark on this journey. And I think that it is in understanding the darker and holding both of those aspects that really allow us to grow. Like we can't grow just in light and love, like, right? So I think it's a powerful tool, and the only way we can do that is by looking at both sides.
Like we need winter, like we need summer. They're both equally important.
Absolutely.
Okay. Who's brave? Who's going next? Who's pulling? Jamie's
Jamie?
pulling the card.
Okay.
Trust Jamie.
So this is a deck this deck actually belongs to April, and it's Denise Lynn, Sacred Forest.
I love that deck.
I love this deck so much. And the back is a Pegasus. So I used to be obsessed with Pegasus when I'm still am, but when I was a young girl, I was like obsessed. I had all the Pegasus posters and stuff. Okay. And the My Little Pony Pegasus.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
What do the cards want to say about me today? Okay. Let's do it. Meandering pathway. It's a meandering pathway with a sorcerer, and it says flow.
Oh,
I love that.
oh my God.
So this idea, let me see, what number is this card? Is 24. I like to reference still because, again, I'm a beginner.
Go for it.
The book that comes with the oracles, just because I don't want to read into until I know specifically, but when life presents you a meandering path rather than a straight shot to a goal, you can feel frustrated. You might bemoan the fact that the path seems aimless and roundabout. and that you can't see what's ahead. On the other hand, you can just enjoy the voyage. If that isn't speaking to me right now, I can't say what would. If that doesn't say everything about me, you guys are going to learn a lot about us. And one of the things you should know right now is this is exactly where I'm at in life right now. Just in the immediate sense where one thing that I read into this that's very literal is that I have a manuscript, a book due on May 1st, and I don't know how I'm going to get to that end. I'm on a meandering path between plots right now, which I know is very literal.
You got this,
but I
girl.
sort of really feel this. I feel this card right now.
And like the answer is flow, right? The answer is to let yourself flow.
Exactly. I needed that reminder because, I write on the weekends and here we go. I'm just going to let it flow.
That's crazy. Just real quick, I saw a video this morning of a girl jumping off into a river and struggling and like being caught up in the panic of it all. And when she relaxed and just let herself be carried by the river of life, like it became a lot easier. So yeah, I think that that's a beautiful statement for you of just trust the process. And good to hear for all of us and for our audience on board. Like if you were wondering what to do, like thank you for joining us. Like trust the process, go with the flow, and like you'll learn something more about yourself than if you were trying to find the whole
So
way.
deep. That's so good.
Yes, you did that.
Rachel,
Yes,
you
you
can
did.
pull a card
right.
for us, girl.
All right. I am doing also, actually, April, I'm also pulling from a goddess deck. And this is a powerful deck. This is one of my first Oracle decks as well. And this is by Colette Baron-Reid. She does a lot of beautiful, really, really beautifully channeled goddess energy decks and a variety. And the artwork is by Jenna Della Grottolata. We'll post links to our decks. I have the goddess Saradin, and she represents potential.
Ooh.
And
Was that the cover of the book
it is.
too?
It actually, this is why I had to like pause for a second. I was like, oh my gosh, like this is crazy. And Saradin is a beautiful goddess that represents that kind of spark and the start of something new. It's like a shiny diamond, but it's going forward in that potential of what is in the moment. And I feel like that's where we're at right now. I think we're all like sitting on this massive potential of possibility here. And I hope that you all feel it too, because I think it's a really powerful journey to be on. And I'm honored to be on this journey with you.
That is such a powerful
Wow.
pull.
Wow. Yeah, that's an incredible pull. 100%.
Yeah.
So this was our introduction episode. We're going to get into the tarot beginning our next episode. We hope you'll join us. We're going to dive deep. It's going to be really fun. We're going to learn a lot about each other, and hopefully you'll learn a lot about us
We are so
too.
excited. We will be closing all the episodes with offering you a meaningful moment for the week ahead. But for now, we will close this episode by inviting you to take a breath with us. So wherever you are, just taking a second to pause and take a deep breath in and out. And may you stay connected to yourself as you step back into your week.
Thanks for listening, and stay tuned. Our first full episode is coming up right now.